Something that gets in the way for so many of us and is near and dear to my heart in the worst way possible. Guilt. Those bits of judgment I literally haven't thought about since I left 9 months ago. Why would I? Like, look where I am in Indonesia in a private villa with a private pool. Hey, it's Leah. Welcome back to step 2 of the Sabbatical Starter Series, where I take you through the 5 steps of my starter guide to help kickstart your dream sabbatical. If you haven't downloaded the guide yet, it's totally free. Just click the link in the description below and follow along. And if you haven't seen the step 1 video yet, we talked about recognizing burnout and why it's so important to name it before we actually heal from it. You can go back into this playlist and start with that video for a more comprehensive experience. Today's video is about something that gets in the way for so many of us and is near and dear to my heart in the worst way possible. Guilt. That nagging voice that says you can't take a break, people will judge you, you should be stronger, don't be ungrateful. Let's unpack all that, because if you're watching this video, you likely deserve a break. And I'm here to give you permission to take one. As you already know, in healthcare and other high-demand fields, we're often conditioned to believe that rest is selfish. We're told the patient comes first, push through it. You can sleep or eat or use the bathroom later. And somewhere along the line, we internalize this message. If I'm not constantly producing, I'm not worthy. But here's the truth. Guilt is often a signal that we're doing something different, not necessarily something wrong. Taking a sabbatical doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're finally choosing yourself, and that feels unfamiliar in a culture of overwork, especially in healthcare, where we're just conditioned to put everyone else before ourselves. But I'm gonna challenge you to overcome these feelings and finally take some time for yourself. When I first started planning my sabbatical, I was terrified that people would think that I was totally quitting or just being lazy. I remember thinking, what will my coworkers say? Will I be seen as like ungrateful, or will I be just replaced and never get a job again? But when I finally committed to my time off, the opposite actually happened. A bunch of my coworkers told me, like, I've always wanted to do something like that, or good for you. And tons of people reached out and said, please tell me how you're doing this, how you're affording this. The support was actually really eye-opening. Most of the judgment that I feared for so long, literal years before I got the courage to do this, most of that judgment was just in my head. And the little bits of judgment that did come, because there was some judgment, of course. There's always going to be people who are jealous or envious. Those bits of judgment, I literally haven't thought about since I left 9 months ago. Why would I? Like, look where I am. I'm in Indonesia in a private villa with a private pool. I pay $1,200 less for this than I was paying for my New York City apartment. That was a quarter of the size. Yeah. When you leave and you figure out where you want to be and you're in your comfort zone and you're finally living that life you've dreamed of, you're not going to care about what anyone said to you or thinks of you, honestly. Here's something I remind myself and my clients all the time. You can't keep showing up for others if you're not showing up for yourself. The most compassionate thing that you can do for your patients, your family, your friends, your partner, and your future self is to heal. Rest is not a reward. It's a biological need. It's a reset that prevents real harm, like breakdowns, health issues, or walking away from your career entirely. We are not meant to work this much. All right, so let's pause for a quick reflection prompt. You can fill your answers in on your guide if you have downloaded my guide, or just jot them down on a piece of paper, or you can just sit there and pause and think about what your answers would be. So I'd like you to ask yourself, when was the last time you felt truly rested? What was different about that time? Second, what would you say to a colleague who was struggling and clearly needed time off? What would you say to them? And finally, can you offer that same compassion to yourself that you would offer to someone else? This is always the hardest part, right? This is your moment to reframe your guilt as a signal and not a stop sign. What if instead of guilt, you felt pride? What if instead of fearing what other people think, you inspired them to think differently? Taking time off doesn't mean walking away forever. In fact, stepping back intentionally can bring clarity, energy, and purpose that you wouldn't find otherwise. Just remember, you don't have to wait for permission from your boss, your family, or society. You are the one who grants yourself permission. So if you've been waiting for a sign that it's okay to pause, this is it. You have permission, you are allowed to take up space, and you are allowed to rest. In the next video, in step 3, we'll explore how to assess your options for actually taking time off, whether it means unpaid leave, PTO stacking, taking disability, or something else entirely. If this video helped you feel seen, leave a comment or share it with a friend in healthcare or anyone who needs to hear it. And if you really like what you're hearing and want an even more in-depth experience, sign up for my online course at the link below. It's only $47 for a limited time until spots fill up. You got this. I believe in you. I'm Leah, and I'll see ya in the next video.